I guess the first topic I have to discuss is Trent Alexander-Arnold. So, towards the end of my vacation, when we were away, the story came out that Trent had made his decision and that he was going to Real Madrid. This was then backed up by many journalists who came out saying that Trent had agreed to go to Madrid. You've seen all the tweets from Fabrizio Romano and the like. And I tried to give my take on it in the pre-recorded videos I put up, but what I want to stress here, first and foremost, is I don't think there's any right or wrong way to feel about this situation. I think it's a very personal thing. Some people will thank Trent for his service. Absolutely sound about that. Some people will feel a little bit annoyed by the situation. Again, absolutely fine about that. But ultimately, it is what it is. And we are where we are. And it looks like Trent Alexander-Arnold will become a Real Madrid player in the summer, maybe before the Club World Cup, maybe a little bit later. For those of you who don't know that situation, Real Madrid are of course taking part in the new Club World Cup that is taking place this summer. And Trent Alexander-Arnold's contract with Liverpool runs until, I believe, the end of June. And that would mean that Trent would be unavailable to play for Real Madrid for the first 3 games, the group stage games of the Club World Cup. Now, there was talk that maybe they offered to pay Liverpool a fee to get Trent out a little bit earlier. And this all ties in with the new transfer window that I was saying to you guys previously. And that transfer window today has been confirmed. So now we know that there are going to be 2 summer transfer windows. There's going to be a shortened one between June the 1st and June the 10th. And that will, of course, allow clubs to sign players up for the Club World Cup. Maximum of 2 players, I believe, will be allowed to be added in during this period. And then the full transfer window opens up June the 16th. And that will run all the way through to September the 1st. So there's 2 trains of thought. Either Trent goes to Real Madrid a bit early, having Madrid paid a little release to Liverpool, or he misses the group stage games and goes and joins up at Real Madrid for the knockout part of the Club World Cup. Either way, it doesn't change the fact that it's looking like he's leaving Liverpool. Well, he is leaving Liverpool. What really intrigued me, though, and this kind of leads into the whole, I guess, David Lynch thing I was talking about a minute ago, is Fabrizio Romano put out a post the other day to say that Trent was told flat out by Real Madrid that this was going to be done on his terms, on their terms, or he can go and sign a new deal with Liverpool or whatever. And Fabrizio Romano said that Trent agreed with this immediately. I'm sure you guys have seen this. So we thought about that and I said, well, hang on a minute. Were we or were we not told by many journalists that the club were confident that Trent was going to stay and that Trent was negotiating with the club and everybody was optimistic? That's what's being put out there. That's what's been spoken about. So I said, what happened to this, lads? And I tagged a few journalists. To bring this back to Trent Alexander-Arnold, I don't think there is a right and wrong way to feel about it. I feel like my reading of the situation was right all the way through. I feel like this was done intentionally and he did run down his contract. But he's free to do so, as I've said all the way through. I don't like the way he's handled it, but ultimately, he's a player that served the club with distinction and he's going off on his way. That's the way I see it. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I would have rather he stayed, but it's not your decision. It's not my decision. It's Trent Alexander-Arnold's decision, and he'll live with that decision. So for me, that's my take on the situation. I certainly won't be adding to any of the criticism or hate that he gets, Trent, because, yeah, I feel disappointed as a Liverpool fan. I think that's only natural. It's not for me to tell anybody else how to feel. I think Trent's made the wrong decision. I think time will prove that he's made the wrong decision. But it is what it is, you know? And if it leads to a situation, which, by the way, there is a positive to all of this, if it leads to a situation where Mohamed Salah and Virgil stay, which it's looking likely, it's probably the outcome we all thought was going to happen, if we're being really honest. So, for me, a month ago, if someone said to me, right, Craig, I think that Trent's going to go, but I think Virgil and Mo will stay, I'd have probably sat here and gone, kind of what I expected. So, that's my take on it. Feel free to let me know yours, of course, in the comments. But I won't be burning any shirts or anything like that. He's made his decision. He served the club well. I was grateful for him when he was here. I'd rather he stayed, but ultimately, it's the young man's career, and I'm not going to tell him what to do. I did, by the way, find the whole debate, is that the right word, between Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher on the overlap. I found that one very interesting. And it's certainly been a topic that's got Liverpool fans heated, right? You know, who is to blame for this situation? Or is there anybody to blame for this situation? I think there probably is blame, but at the end of the day, dwelling on it doesn't matter. It's done. It's dusted. He's going. We just need to look forward at this point. So that's my take on it. Again, let's go into the comments and see how you guys are feeling. So, Colzer said, Bobby Firmino leaves for free and he's a hero. Trent leaves for free and he's a traitor. I don't understand it. We're bigger than any one player. So, again, I have never called Trent a traitor. So I don't know who your comment has been aimed at, my friend. But I think it's understandable that some people are worked up about this situation. I feel disappointed, Colzer. I can't lie. I feel disappointed that Trent chose to do this. But ultimately, like you said, we are bigger than any one player. And one thing you mentioned there, mate, was Bobby Firmino leaving the club for free. I think that situation in its own, the fact that players are leaving Liverpool for free, is one that many of us feel a bit confused about, being a club that want to try and make every penny count. Seeing so many of these good players go out the door, which is hard enough, but then to go out for free with no transfer fees, and then know that you're probably not going to have as much money as you want to spend in the summer, I think that's probably what causes a lot of frustration from many fans. But again, you haven't seen me call him a traitor anywhere, because I wouldn't say that of somebody who served our club. I can feel disappointed in him, and I do, but I wouldn't call him a traitor. If he played for United now, different story altogether. Said, I'm over Trent, to be honest. It's more the fact that Trent still hasn't come out and said anything, not a word from him. The part that confuses me, Connor, is this thing, right? This part is a part that I'm really confused by, because I don't know what he was trying to portray there with this. Like, everybody yapping, well, they were probably right, Trent, weren't they? So that I don't get. I don't feel he ever downed tools for us. I do feel like he had games where his work rate wasn't good enough. I agree with Colzer in that we're bigger than this as a club. You know, any one person shouldn't define our football club, even if it is a local boy like Trent. But it's up to each person to say how they feel about the situation. You know, I don't think there is a right and wrong way to feel. You know, it's up to each person. If he left for a decent fee, I wouldn't be annoyed, said Nick. So, do you know what? I want to ask that as a question, Nick, because I feel like it's a really valid point that you've made. And I want to ask everybody about that. 1 second. What I'm going to ask is, would you feel less frustrated if we got a bigger fee for Trent? Yes, no, or I'm not upset either way. Because maybe some people just feel like this was a natural end. So, we'll leave that running in the background. You guys can crack on and vote away on it, and we'll see what people are feeling. Because it's an interesting point, Nick. I've mentioned a few times that for me, I'd always thought that if you did lose a player like Trent, that you would lose him maybe for a massive, colossal fee. Bit of a Freudian slip there. But it does sting a bit more that the club aren't getting money for him. But also, you can't absolve the club of any mistakes here. They allowed this situation to get to this point. So I think there's frustration to be aimed at a few people in this situation.